Another video, folks. This is Afro Think Tank again. I'm using some of his videos, some of his content, but I'm not using all of it. Yeah, it explains FBAs and ADOS. In this video, people are not just us tethers are fed up with these people, but other African Americans, other Black Americans. They don't want to be associated with these people. I mean, you notice, yeah, they're not xenophobic. They're not anti-black. I mean, anti-immigrant, anti-black immigrant. So they don't want to be associated with them. So I'm going to play this, these videos, these shorts, TikTok videos he has of some people explaining, sticking up for the rest of the African diaspora, and he says here the diaspora wars. Hold on, FBA embarrassing us and perpetrating the diaspora wars. Yeah, that's what it is. It's nonsense. They're causing this shit. Anyways, I'll let it play and I'll have more comments after.
That's what you are. And when Harriet told me we can't take everybody with us, you're the ones that we can't take with us. And we talking about into the future, because you don't have to be you don't have to go move to Pan Africa to be a Pan African. That's the thing that y'all don't understand. You can be right where you at. You can be a proud African American. You can be a proud African American and don't take no shit from anybody talking shit about your African Americans, and be a Pan African and don't be a xenophobic, hateful retard. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Is Afro Think Tank. Learn something. Teach them. I'm out.
When it comes to African Americans, you have to separate them into two groups. Okay, so first you have FBAs. Second, you have regular African Americans. FBAs believe that they're Native Americans. They believe that they were always in the Americas, so they straight up just deny having any African ancestry at all. Okay, whereas regular African Americans accept their African ancestry, but their whole thing is just improving and making a better life for themselves in a country that they've been occupying for hundreds of years. They're still very much proud of the fact that they're African American, and they're still proud of having Black culture and all these different things, right? But once you understand the dichotomy between those two groups, it'll make understanding Black Americans as a whole that much easier, okay? Because FBAs, they're mentally ill. They're responsible for all the divisiveness that we have within the Black diaspora right now. They spew a lot of the hate that you see on the internet when you go on Twitter. A lot of the quote-unquote Black Americans that be starting all the problems. You go in that bio, you see that flag, you see FBA in the bio, everything now makes sense. But just remember that. Two very distinct groups. Thank you.
I decided to put on my cowboy hat because I'm from Texas, because this person decided to say that I'm not African American. They want to say all this racist stuff about African people. Baby, I'm African American. I am the descendant of slaves, and I am not one of you FBA people. I am not deluding myself into believing that I can somehow oppress myself out of being African American. We will never become the top of society by oppressing other people. My goal is not for Black Americans, African American descendants of slaves. My goal is not for my community to suddenly be Elon Musk. It is not for us to be the next Donald Trump. My goal is that everybody in the society feels equal, that everybody has the exact same access to rights, like healthcare, like school, like people are not more likely to be arrested, right? We all know that African Americans are disproportionately more likely to be arrested. And yet, y'all want to focus on anti-immigrant rhetoric for what? For what? How does that serve our community? If you want to go out and do everything and give every single last dollar to only African American people, fine. But how does anti-immigrant rhetoric truly serve our community? I'm African American. I know where I came from. I know where I came from. And I will never delude myself into thinking that I can somehow white supremacist myself out of being African American.
I promise, I cannot stand FBAs. I cannot stand you folks that stand and declare, oh, I'm a foundational black American. Fool, you're African just like me.
Yeah.
You're African just like every black person out here. And I know, some of us were Native.
Oh my God, he's funny. I have to pause this, folks. He's funny. FBA's guess. Well, okay, let's do that. Guess what? You're still African.
But your ass ain't, though. None of the people in your family is Native, okay? I don't give a shit what pictures you pop up with. Da-da-da. Your granny ain't Native, okay? She might have slept with a Native. She might have had some Native in her that way. But you're not a Native, okay? You are an African. Your roots began in Africa. I don't give a shit what type of convoluted conversation y'all sitting y'all monkey ass around having. You are an African, like it or not, fool.
How are groups like ADOS and FBA related to white supremacy? Let's talk about it. First, let's start with the Tanton Network. The Tanton Network was started or founded by John Tanton, a white supremacist and eugenicist who felt that the United States was getting too black and too brown. He decided that he wanted to create organizations that appeared progressive, but they actually had an ulterior motive: to limit black and brown immigration and keep the United States whitey. John Tanton said, and I quote, "For European American society and culture to persist requires a European American majority and a clear one at that."
To get that, folks. So this was funded by white supremacists, racists, FBAs and ADOS. And that's facts, folks. Dumbass group.
Facts. Another quote: "We decline to bequeath our children minority status in their own land." John Tanton quotes. So how exactly did John Tanton decide to attack the black community? Some of these white supremacy front groups are as followed: Progressives for Immigration Reform, U.S. Tech Workers, Federation for Immigration Reform, Centers for Immigration Studies, Numbers USA, Blacks for Equal Rights Coalition. Blacks is crazy. Choose Black America. For the record, the majority of the African American community is not against immigration of black and brown people. What is the result of this kind of coonery? Weakened growth of the black population, because when black immigrants come to the United States, the black birth rate goes up because we do intermix, we do intermarry, and we have families together.
Yep.
Weakened understanding of global black oppression and systemic racism. A weakened black vote. Increased surveillance and criminalization. But how are groups like ADOS and FBA perpetuators of white supremacy? Co-founder of ADOS, Yvette Carnell, also sits on the board of Progressives for Immigration Reform, one of the white supremacist front groups that I detailed earlier. Unfortunately, targeting black immigrants is not the way to get reparations. ADOS basically targets black immigrants. They say that black immigrants are taking African American jobs, black immigrants are causing a lot of crime in the African American community, basically scapegoating black immigrants so that they can turn the African American
It's not even true.
population against black immigration, which the majority of African Americans don't even support. U.S. Tech Workers is an organization that is trying to get reformation with the H-1B visa. This is a visa that black immigrants, one of many visas, apply for. It is a highly skilled visa. So you have people applying for the H-1B visa who come into the country, who go into STEM, science, technology, mathematics. Not a bad thing, right? However, Trump signed an executive order to limit the program for H-1B visas. Antonio Moore, who was the co-founder of ADOS, shared the article on Twitter for all of us to see their work.
Yeah.
All of this information has been studied by the blackinstitute.org and the Southern Poverty Law Centers. I'll be adding additional sources in the link below. How is FBA related to all of this? Well, like for part 2.
Black people's hair is different from African hair. That's the best way I'm gonna say it.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not. And no hate to this creator, but we really have to stop saying things like this. Black people's hair is different from African hair. Like, we're literally Africans in the Americas. Like, what are you talking about? I use the same hair products on my hair that my Nigerian man uses because we both have the same type 4 hair. We don't have different hair. We have the same hair. Can we stop this? It's like hella anti-black and texturous. Like, we need to do better. Come on now.
I think they are. As a matter of fact, my argument is FBA is white nationalism and blackface.
Yeah.
I guess the algorithm is algorithming. I guess the algorithm's working because I saw this one posting some bagels. But this is what I've been arguing. And obviously, consciously, he's been doing something that I have, especially on like the internet. He's way more prominent than I am. I just want to start speaking about these topics on the internet. For the most part, I just mainly talk about my personal life and like groups, political groups and everything that I'm in. But yes, I wholeheartedly agree. These groups are basically white supremacy and blackface.
But worst of all, sorry, I'm gonna eat my bagel while making this because I was making a bagel before I saw that. Is that they're also grounded in misinformation, which is I don't like to use like hyperbolic words like scary or anything, but it is problematic because those, especially younger people who may be drawn into those crowds, they would be better off knowing nothing rather than learning from deaf people who call themselves FBAs. So, for example, Lord Jamar from Brand Nubian, I'm trying not to make this petty and personal, even though there's a bit of pettiness to it. Lord Jamar recently went back on Black TV, and I'm bringing him up because this recently happened, and he has the FBA ideology. You know, he was on other black people about standing on code and this, that, and the third, and yet when he needs some money, he goes running back to black, which I don't think it's right or any of that. That's a conversation for a different day. However, but it gets worse because I remember during COVID, Lord Jamar was he was basically prompting like anti-science misinformation or disinformation at that point because he was going along saying like, you know, fucking mass, it's just the flu, yada yada yada. You know, colloidal silver is actually what works against you know, the virus and all that other stuff. And I know this for sure because I followed him on Instagram. That's actually what prompted me to unfollow him. The thing about these groups like, you know, FBAs and, you know, other, I'm gonna say black supremacists, there's a better word for it, I just can't think of it off the top of my head, but I'm gonna use black supremacists because they're like very MAGA, we'll just call them black MAGA, right, that works. The thing about these, like, these FBA and black MAGA types, which is basically what they are, is that it's pretty much almost a 1-to-1 parallel to their white counterparts. The only thing they do not have is the power. But, you know, it starts, you know, like you need this superior conspiratorial rhetoric when it comes to like a race that's honestly just a sociological nightmare when you know anything about sociology. But it gets worse because it opens a rabbit hole that leads down to just conspiratorial bullshit with everything, including the anti-scientific information. And I can someone prove this. What was MAGA doing during COVID? 4G, 5G calls, COVID, colloidal silver, they were prompting that. Was colloidal silver the also one that made you turn blue? No, ivermectin and all that, you know, shit that Joe Rogan was spouting. And on the flip side, you see a lot of the same rhetoric from the black FBA types and whatnot. And this is me like really just speaking in a very brief sense on this topic. You know, I'm trying to be long and drawn and really go down the rabbit hole. I can follow down the TikTok on this that is more in depth and nuanced. But my whole point of this is it's bad because it's not just black supremacy. You know, it's not just white supremacy with blackface. You know, it's white supremacy with blackface and everything else that's under that fucking iceberg.
Hey, yo, one more thing about FBA, you know what I mean? When that term FBA came out by Tariq Nasheed a few years ago, you know what I'm saying? That joint wasn't getting no type of traction. It was like some underground group that nobody ever heard of, you know what I'm saying? So Tariq's a slick dude, you know what I mean? He make money over these guys that follow him because they don't read much, so they don't know much. So they just read his stuff, you know what I mean? So this dude's creating merchandise and stuff like that. Now he sells them online, he make money. He makes DVDs, he make money. He tried to be a rapper, that didn't work out, but they still bought some of his songs, made some money. So how can he get some more attention from his brand, which is FBA? He wants to pin African Americans against Hispanics, and that's exactly what he did, you know what I mean? Now we got Hispanics versus African Americans, even some African Americans versus so-called FBA African Americans, and everybody's rumbling. And guess who in the back right now counting all that money again from all this turmoil, you know what I'm saying? He started all this fighting stuff, and now he in the back just collecting his money. FBA versus other black people, FBA versus Hispanics. That's what he wanted, that's what he got, and look at everybody going crazy.
Okay, so I want to talk about the rise of like the FBA movement / the anti-black immigrant sentiment that I've seen lately on social media. Now I'm not too sure where this came from, but me personally, I first encountered this maybe back in like 2023, I believe, on Twitter. So it was a Twitter space, and this Twitter space was about how immigrants are essentially affecting black Americans and how they are maybe taking away certain opportunities from black Americans. This wasn't focused on any particular group of immigrants, but then later on in the space, it did shift to black immigrants in particular and how they may be taking things away from black Americans. And I would also like to add, while this Twitter space was going on, like there were Africans and black Americans literally yelling slurs at one another through the phone. There were even white conservatives that literally came up there as well. Even the Fresh and Fit guy came up there as well. Like, I'm not too sure. Yes, the Fresh and Fit guy, of course, he was on the side of the Africans. You know, he's East African. I don't remember what the conservative guy was doing, but girl, they were in there, and it was very, very messy.
Yeah, I might have saw that actually. The Fresh and Fit. Oh my God.
And there was a huge fallout from this space. And mind you guys, this was a space that went on for over 24 hours. So this is from like where I noticed a lot of this propaganda started to rise was from that day. Because if you were there, you would know that like Tariq Nasheed came in there. There was a lot going on. A lot of people came in there that day. And so from there, I started seeing a lot more black American people referring to themselves as foundational black American. And so I noticed that a lot of them were trying to distance themselves from Africa and talk about how, you know, they were already here and stuff like that. They were also native to the land of America, things of that nature. Which, mind you, that claim is getting so bad, I'm starting to see Native Americans have to come out and, like, refute that claim and say, like, no, girl, like, respectfully, we are the original natives. But I noticed this very strong push to separate and create a distinction between black Americans who are descendants from slavery versus, you know, everybody else. Which I absolutely agree with the fact that we are very different, but we also, of course, have a lot of similarities, right? But I don't necessarily think making that distinction in a certain context is productive. Like making that distinction in a conversation about the betterment and the advancement of any black people, period, regardless of where they're from in the diaspora, that's not a useful conversation because at the end of the day, we all have the same enemy. So it's like, what are we making that distinction for? Why are we making this separation? Again, all of it just feels very anti-African, and it just feels like, again, propaganda for more division, for more divide and conquer. So please, let's all respect one another. We all have our own culture, black American people included, okay? And we all descend from the same place. All love. That's it.
The foundational black American stuff, and stay with me now. The stuff sounds cool on the surface, but a lot of the times, y'all get real xenophobic with it, and real supremacist with it, and that be the issue. Because it's cool on the surface that black people can name themselves, instead of being constantly covered in a social tar that other people will use to burn us with. It's like, okay, we name ourselves, we establish our culture. This is us doing our thing. This is not the hand-me-downs of someone else. You can perceive it that way. Obviously, you can disagree. I'm just trying to speak light on the subject of black supremacy, foundational blackness, and xenophobia. But The labels, ADOS, FBAs, SOLAN, like it sounds cool because black people can name themselves. But then niggas start getting the social roots and shit. They start talking about something, yeah, you ain't black, you from somewhere else, and the whole time, you talking to a motherfucker from the diaspora. So like, they got their own shit going on. Like they done suffer too. Black Americans not the only niggas that suffer. And I'm not trying to say that to diminish what we've gone through, but a lot of y'all use this as a way to diminish the plight of other people. Being foundational black, does that not sound problematic already? Because the issue with being black is that you don't get to have a foundation. It's almost like an oxymoron, because the black Americans you find in America are obviously the overlap of many different groups and ethnicities. And so foundational black kind of just makes a supremacist monolith. I hope that makes sense. Like, as somebody with, the sword and wreath heritage tat, like, I don't think I'm greater than another nigga from, like, Jamaica, Africa, or some random, like, black Chinese dude. Like, hey, if you're not racist to me, I'm not gonna have no issues with you. Like, and we both dark skinned, so we can have something to talk about, because niggas get weird about that. But my roots matter to me because it's important to know my story. But that does not make me, my story don't make me greater than somebody else. This foundational black thing is kind of like a almost main character syndrome, laced with xenophobia and supremacy. This is like another issue of picking up the white man's tools in a way. Like, sometimes we don't need all of them. Like, we can't reform.
Do you consider yourself a black man?
I mean, I'm considered a black man, just like you're considered a black woman.
Right.
But we're just Americans.
You said don't call me black.
If we go to Africa right now, what they gonna call us? Americans.
Black Americans.
They're gonna call us Americans.
And so, are you?
And they do call us Americans when they're here. They call us Americans. Now they call us certain things because we want to be called. We're like, call me black. Brother. They want to call you black because they want you, because they think you want to be called black, because you're talking about Black Lives Matter and I'm black and I'm proud, and of course they watching you and they're like, hey, that's a black person. But when they're talking amongst themselves, and I've heard these people, I've heard their conversations in Mexico and different people, they call us Americans no matter where we go.
Because that's our nationality. We are American, but that doesn't take away that we are black. In America, black Americans. What are you talking about?
I know they call us Americans. It could be me and you standing with two other people we call white here, and they call us all Americans. You can call yours
because we're all Americans. Black Americans, white Americans, Asian Americans, Hispanic Americans. We're all Americans. It's nationality.
So Irish all you want.
Are you okay?
But I'm gonna tell you now. You go to Ireland. They're gonna call you American. You don't fit in their culture. You're not a part of their neighborhood.
You're talking about Irish Americans.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but what is the advantage of erasing the term black and just calling us Americans? Why are you calling for that?
Because it brings us to appreciate us as an ethnicity instead of just as a
American or American is not an ethnicity. Huh. Not an ethnicity, it's a nationality. What are you talking about? These dudes be on these podcasts trying to sound smart. They sound crazy.
Except it takes away the divide, the thing that we think is so different about us. You go to Puerto Rico, people are all kinds of colors. Blue-eyed, blonde hair, look like me, look like you, look like Miles. They look like everybody. They look like Cameron Diaz there. They look like everybody there. Mm-hmm. And but they call themselves with impunity, I'm a Puerto Rican.
Because Puerto Rican is a nationality, but it's also an ethnicity. It's also an ethnicity. So sometimes you can have a nationality. It's also an ethnicity. America is not one of those.
Let me back up. At the beginning I said we have to know the difference between race, ethnicity, nationality, culture, religion, right? So in your song, or I don't know if it's in the song or on TikTok, you say that American is an ethnicity.
It's our ethnicity. Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's a
to
new
me, ethnicity is where are your people from?
This is our new ethnicity. Ethnicity, if you look up the word ethnicity, what comes back is beliefs.
No,
No. Ethnicity is culture, language, and shared ancestry. And shared ancestry. That's what ethnicity is.
Sometimes nationality.
Nationality is
Sometimes nationality can be an ethnicity.
what your
Behavior.
passport says.
Well,
Ethnicity is where your people are from.
No, that's descendants.
Same thing.
No, it's not.
Ethnicity, your descendants play a part in your ethnicity. Shared ancestry. Choose correct.
Not the same thing. Ethnicity and descendants is different. They're a different word.
Descendants play a part in ethnicity. Ethnicity is culture, religion, language, shared ancestors, shared descendants.
Words, they mean different things. We are African descendants, but we are not Africans.
Okay, yes, we African descendants that in America had an ethnogenesis, formed a new ethnicity, right? Because our culture, language. But in that new ethnicity, we still have that common ancestry, the descendants, which are Africans. So in America, our ethnic group, whatever you want to call it, Black American, FBA, ADOS, Sudan, whatever you want to call it, we all share common ancestry, which are the Africans, and it's more than just the Africans, also the Native Americans, and also a lot of us have European DNA. That's what make us an ethnic group. America itself is not an ethnic group. America is the nationality. All right, so this is what people need to understand, right? Let me break this down real fast. We're gonna break this down real fast. All right, so Black Americans. Our race, what is our race? Black. Right, our race is black. What is our ethnicity? Whatever, Black American, African American, Sulan, ADOS, whatever you want to call it, that's our ethnicity. Then we have some sub-ethnicities, whether it's Gelagichi, whatever, right? We have different sub-ethnicities. Right, what is our nationality? Our nationality is American. Right? Race, black, nationality, American, ethnicity, African American or Black American, and then we have other sub-ethnicities a part of that. So, I don't know, what is he talking about? America is not an ethnicity. Stop it. We got beef for work.
Oh. Yo, to all the Black Americans on this app, man, it can't just be me, man. Like, y'all don't never get tired of Africans or so-called Pan-Africans talking about you need to go experience Africa. I mean, they literally be like, yo, you need to go experience Africa. Go to Nigeria. Go visit the beautiful culture of Nigeria. Go to Ghana. Go to South Africa. It's beautiful over there. You will love it. We love Black Americans. Yo, Africa and all the 52 whatever countries that's over there, if it was so great, why are you running away from it? Why y'all come over here? Y'all don't never go back. Shit happy, y'all don't never even visit where the fuck your parents be from. But you be steady telling us to go to Africa. I ain't going nowhere. I'm staying right here. Because obviously this is where everybody want to be at.
Black American people are the most represented people in all of the Black diaspora, at least in mainstream media. The most globally famous Black people that you know are African American. African Americans make up like 95% of mainstream Black media, but they're complaining about the 5% that's growing. And that 5% is split between every other country or place in the world that has Black people, when African Americans make up one of the smallest parts of the Black diaspora. I don't know how they can't hear themselves using white people's talking points to attack other Black people. You're fighting for the few seats that we have when we could all just make more seats. Like, call me crazy. We're always saying that Black people are not a monolith, but then when our media starts to reflect that, suddenly we start getting a bit guarded, start trying to close the door for other people. I know you won't see it this way, but that's anti-blackness. It's anti-blackness. Your hatred of African people is anti-black.
Yep.
We couldn't replace you, even if we wanted to. We don't have the motion, unfortunately. You're American. Everything you do dominates every single space that you are in, okay? We don't actually have it like that to be able to take over and replace you. So can we actually just get a real hot grip?
So I posted a video saying that my grandparents look Native American.
Exactly, folks. She said, that was great, on point. I agree. As a British black woman, that was great.
As a black person, an African American, okay, that's what they call us. Why is it that if we say we don't believe that we from Africa or our grandparents look indigenous, people go off? If I feel like I'm not African or I'm not from Africa, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? It's like we are forced to accept the history that was thrown upon us. If we question it, everybody is cussing us out. Meanwhile, I have no family in Africa. If I went to Africa right now, it's nobody's door I can knock on and they will recognize me as their cousin. But yet I'm supposed to believe what somebody wrote in a book. I was never taught that I was African. My whole life, my grandparents always taught me that they were Indian. That's what they would say. So what's wrong with that? I don't have a problem with African people. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, I'm not even tripping. But when I tell you people trip anytime a black person wants to address...
I'm sorry. If you feel some type of way for me saying this shit, I'm sorry. Like, it is what it is. I can't be fake. I've never been able to do that. Ever. What's up, family? It's certain things I've been wanting to say for a while now, and I've really been keeping my mouth shut because I don't want y'all to get the wrong idea and believe I have negative intentions with what I'm about to say. And that's why I'm thinking about every word that I say. I don't like the fact that some people in our community are becoming very anti-African. I won't say anti-black because we are black. Whether we think we have fucking feather backgrounds or not. Here's the thing. I'm fully aware that some of our ancestors were already here. There's plenty of evidence for that. There's plenty of evidence for that. It was written in books, etc., etc. I understand that. On the other hand, there's plenty of evidence that the majority of us came on the damn slave ships, man, from the continent. And so many people want to separate us from the actual continent of black folks, where black people came from. I mean, the scientific evidence is just undeniable that that is headquarters. That's black people headquarters. So for some of you guys to just have this, I don't know what to call it. It's just this weird energy towards people who come from the continent, not even just tethers. Because there's a separate, and I'm going to get on y'all on the next video. There's a difference between tethers and Africans in general. Non-FBA people in general. But the thing is, man, there's such a strong disdain right now with some people in our community for non-FBA people. Like, it's like, I understand if a tether calls in and he's on some anti-black shit, anti-FBA shit, to check him as an individual. I understand that. Or even throw little shots and roast and all this. I understand all that. But I'm seeing more than that. Like, sometimes. I've been in different spaces on TikTok, because I was kind of blowing up on TikTok for a while, and I would go into certain spaces where, you know, some people, you know, go by the indigenous, some people go by Aboriginal. I'm talking to all these spaces because I'm always trying to figure out, okay, how can I help my people? Like, how can I move us forward? And I get in these spaces, and you just got these weird people who are just so, like, an African could come on the stage and say, or whatever you call it, you know, they call it different things, Twitter space and all these different Clubhouse and all that different stuff, but whatever you call it, when someone comes up to speak, I'm not really that good with these platforms, but, and some people in those spaces, and sometimes it'll be the person running the space, I mean, they just get on them before they even say shit. And they start just saying all this degrading shit about Africa and about Africans and calling them musty and all this weird ass. I'm like, nigga, this shit is weird as fuck, and I don't like it. I don't like this shit. And I've been really trying to avoid making a video like this because I don't want to divide our community. I'm a strong support.
I agree with you, bro. And I'm gonna go forward a bit, people. It's getting late, but it's a great point. Yeah, these people are FBAs they're just crazy. I don't want to argue, but these people are crazy. And he wants no part of that, see? And let's go to the next guy. What's the next guy? Next video. It's a long one. That one's a long one, folks. Let's go with this one. He's almost done. Maybe a little bit here. Start here, kind of.
Entire life. I don't know how to be fake. So tell me how you feel. I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all next time, man.
Our lies were told because when you use the same anti-black slurs, stereotypes, and superiority complexes that were used against you, used to tear down other black people, you're not defending culture. You're imitating the very system that tried to erase all of us. I understand you wanting to be separate, but wanting to sound like massa while you're doing it, that's something else.
We were talking about the significance of Black History Month, right?
For Africans living in the US.
Yeah, this brother here said, this is so confusing for you because it doesn't apply to you. This is not a global event. This is a time to celebrate foundational Black Americans. We have always celebrated our accomplishments of our people, not slavery. The slavery aspect is just a testament to what we've been able to accomplish while being prisoners of war. We know who we come from.
They don't realize that they celebrate in the UK also, in other countries, in Canada, up here. I don't know, in the African countries, I guess this guy's gonna explain that. But in the Caribbean, some of the countries, they celebrate it. I mean, in the diaspora. Not every country, I mean, but they celebrate it. But they acknowledge it, I mean.
And where we come from, and we do not need an African to tell us what and who they think we are. Besides our achievements, our people have always told us who we are. We are Aboriginals of America. The concept of Black History Month does not make sense to
You're not all Aboriginals. Come on. It's crazy. You know what, folks?
Africans, because one, they are not black. Two, we are celebrating us, not them. We pride ourselves in our ancestors. Africans claim to have some type of intelligence. but they prove time and time again to be very surface level people.
Wow.
Sounds like what a colonizer was saying was.
Oh my God. Perfect. I'm going to end with that, folks. That's what a colonizer would say. Exactly. They're on the side of the colonizer. See these FBAs? ADOS, they're on the side of the colonizer. That's perfect, folks. This is how I'm going to end this now. But this proves my point. These people are crazy. These FBAs in ADOS. Just like a anti-immigrant group. That's what it is. That's all it is, folks. It's not about culture or whatever. Well, celebrating your ethnicity, black American ethnicity, I guess. Well, it's not about that. Well, the ADOS was supposed to be about reparations, I thought, right? But I don't know. Seems like they're doing more with fighting with the colonizer, the white, or the oppressor, the white man. They do more fighting with the oppressor, with the allies, with the black immigrants, than the oppressor or the colonizer. Then more in line with the colonizer. They're more on their side. So all you, not all of them, I should say, because they're calling them out. These African Americans, these guys in these shorts, these TikTok videos, they're calling the FBAs out. So it's not all African Americans. The black Americans are like this. It's just a minority of these people, or like this, or hate black immigrants. I mean, yeah. Me myself, I'm Caribbean background, so they probably would hate me too if I was down there. Anyways, folks, I'm gonna end this now, but this is all I want to say tonight. And the FBAs are being exposed by all these African Americans, exposed again, and who they are. Okay, I'm out, folks.